So guys, financial freedom means something different for everyone. And there's no doubt that everyone ultimately wants to be free in their life. Free from bosses, free from bills, free from that constant nagging feeling of, will I have enough? But here's the thing. According to a Pew Research Center report, worldwide, only 34% of people are able to achieve this and actually live life the way they want. The remaining 76% keep struggling to achieve financial freedom their entire lives, and it's not because they're lazy or bad with money. Most of them simply don't know what the real problem is. They don't even realize where exactly they're stuck on the path to financial independence. And that's exactly why, faced with rent, groceries, car payments, and student loans, achieving financial freedom starts to feel like a fantasy reserved for other people. If your expenses are also creeping higher than your income every single month, you've definitely felt at some point, forget financial freedom, I can't even build an emergency fund. I get it. It's a frustrating place to be. But here's the good news. According to nearly every finance expert who has studied this, no matter what financial stage a person is in right now, if they break their big, overwhelming goal into smaller, manageable stages, they can eventually get there. It's not about winning the lottery or getting a huge inheritance. It's a process, a ladder, and everyone has to climb through 7 distinct stages to become truly financially free. Only then can they live life on their own terms, doing work they enjoy on a schedule they control. But as I said, most people don't have clear information about these stages. Nobody sat them down in school and explained this. So this dream, the dream of waking up and not worrying about money, stays just a dream for most people their whole lives. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all 7 of these stages in detail, what they look like, the mistakes people make at each one, and exactly what you need to do to move to the next level. By the end, it'll be crystal clear to you which stage of your own financial journey you're currently sitting in, and more importantly, what your very next move should be. This is going to be a longer, deeper breakdown, so grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Stage 1. Financial dependence. Let's start at the very beginning. If there's currently a phase in your life where you don't earn anything and are completely dependent on your parents or a guardian, let me tell you, you are not alone in the world living this way. Every single successful person you admire went through a version of this stage. It's not a failure. It's a starting point. In a country like the USA, this stage is incredibly common, especially among high schoolers and college students who rely on family support, student loans, or scholarships before they ever earn their first real paycheck. Think about it. A typical American college student might be living in a dorm paid for by their parents or by loans, eating meals on a meal plan someone else funded, with zero pressure to generate income. That's normal. That's expected. The problem isn't being in this stage. The problem is staying in this stage longer than you need to, or leaving it without a plan. Here's where it gets tricky. This dependency usually lasts as long as you're in school or college, because until then, you genuinely don't have a source of income or a job that could cover your own expenses, even if you wanted one. But the real danger starts the moment you graduate. A lot of people walk across that graduation stage with a diploma in hand and absolutely no clear plan for what comes next. They don't know what job they want, what industry excites them, or even what skills they actually have that are marketable. And when you don't have that clarity, you become vulnerable. You start following whatever advice the loudest person in the room gives you. Maybe it's a relative who says, just go work at the family business, or a friend who says, just apply anywhere. Money is money. And slowly, without meaning to, your future starts drifting in a direction you never actually chose, just because you didn't plan ahead. So the biggest lesson from stage 1 is this. Start preparing for your future while you're still in college, or honestly, while you're still in high school if you can. Use the dependency period productively. Take on a part-time job, even if you don't need the money, just to build the muscle of earning and managing it. Learn one skill outside your major, coding, writing, video editing, sales, anything, because that skill could become your side income later. Keep this mindset drilled into your head. The moment I'm out of here, I need to have direction. That mindset, built early, is what breaks the cycle of depending on others your whole life and gives you the confidence to go out and build something on your own terms. Stage 2. Financial solvency. Congratulations, you've graduated, you've landed a job, and you're finally earning your own money. Welcome to Stage 2, Financial Solvency. Here, you're no longer financially dependent on someone else because you're now earning enough to cover your own basic expenses: rent, food, transportation, your phone bill. That's a real milestone, and you should feel proud of it. But here's the catch. Your income still isn't high enough to comfortably save for emergencies, let alone invest for the future. According to experts, this second stage is basically a survival stage for most Americans. You're working just to keep your head above water. Rent is due, the car needs gas, and by the time payday rolls around again, there's barely anything left. This is exactly the stage where a huge percentage of working adults get stuck, not for a year or two, but sometimes for decades. So how do you move one step ahead from here? It requires a shift, and it requires giving yourself a bit more time and effort outside of your regular job. Let's use a real example. Say you land an entry-level job that pays you $2,500 a month after taxes. You clock in at 9 a.m., you clock out at 5 p.m. That's your job. But here's the real question. What do you do with your time between 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. and on your weekends? That block of time is what actually decides whether you climb out of Stage 2 or stay stuck there for years. If you're spending every evening scrolling social media, watching TV, or going out and spending money you don't have, you'll stay exactly where you are year after year, watching your rent go up while your paycheck stays flat. But if instead you use even 5 or 6 hours a week to build a new skill, freelance on the side, start a small business, or pick up a second part-time gig, your income can start to outpace your expenses. And that's the exact moment you cross the bridge from just surviving to actually building a cushion for yourself. The other trap in this stage is lifestyle creep. The second you get a raise or a bonus, immediately upgrading your apartment, your car, your wardrobe. If you do that every single time your income goes up, you will never leave Stage 2, no matter how much money you eventually make. The goal here isn't to spend more as you earn more. It's to widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Stage 3, Financial Stability. Now we get to Stage 3, Financial Stability. If you're able to cover all of your monthly expenses from your income and still have something left over to actually put into savings, that means you've firmly stepped into this stage. This might sound small, but saving consistently, even if it's just $100 or $200 a month at first, is considered one of the most basic yet most important financial habits a person can build because it gives you a cushion to handle unexpected situations without falling apart financially. Let's talk about what unexpected situations actually means, because in America specifically, this can hit hard. Your car breaks down and needs a $900 repair, you get a surprise medical bill even with insurance, your apartment building raises rent with only 30 days notice. These things happen constantly. And if you don't have savings, each one of these moments can throw you right back into debt, right back into Stage 2, or even Stage 1 if things get bad enough. So once you're able to save some money for yourself, the very next priority, and this is critical, is tackling any high-interest debt you're carrying. Credit card debt, in particular, is one of the biggest financial traps for people in the USA because interest rates on credit cards can run 20% or higher. If you're carrying a balance on multiple cards while also trying to save, you're essentially trying to fill a bucket that has holes in the bottom. Pay off the debt first. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, whatever it is. Because as long as those hang over you, they'll keep you financially anxious even if your income looks fine on paper. Once those are cleared, or at least significantly reduced, you'll notice something interesting. Your day-to-day stress drops dramatically, and you start making calmer, smarter decisions with the money you do have. Stage 4, Financial Security. Now, what does financial security actually mean to you? Take a second and think about your honest answer. If your answer is something like receiving a steady paycheck every month, I have to be honest with you. You're still thinking like most people who are simply waiting on their next salary to survive. Real financial security doesn't mean getting money from one particular source, no matter how stable that source feels. It means having multiple income streams so that your everyday expenses, emergencies, and even retirement needs can all be managed without relying on a single job or a single paycheck. Think about how fragile a single income setup really is. If your only source of money is your 9 to 5 job and that company decides to do layoffs, which happens constantly, even at massive companies, your entire financial life can collapse overnight. But someone with multiple income streams, even small ones like a side freelance gig, a small rental property, or a bit of investment income, has a buffer. Losing one stream doesn't wipe them out. People who reach this stage 4 level of financial security typically have built up enough savings and multiple income sources that they don't have any looming debt hanging over their heads, and they have genuine breathing room. When people reach this point, they usually have enough set aside that they can start investing in assets for the future while still comfortably managing their day-to-day expenses. So if you find yourself here, it's time to shift your mindset from saving to investing. Putting your extra money into things like index funds, retirement accounts, or real estate that will grow over time and work for you. But here's an important warning about this exact stage because I've seen so many people trip here. This is also the stage where having real money in your hand for the first time can tempt you into buying expensive things just to show people how far you've come. A new car, a fancier apartment, designer clothes, expensive vacations you post on social media. It feels good in the moment. People notice. People compliment you. But if you fall into that trap of spending to impress rather than spending to build, it won't take long before you slide right back down to stage 2 or stage 3, wondering where all your money went. So instead, take whatever extra amount you have each month and start funneling it consistently into appreciating assets, index funds, retirement accounts, real estate, or a business you're building. If you put your money to work now, while you're disciplined and focused, it will keep working for you for decades to come, quietly compounding in the background while you live your life. Stage 5, financial independence and reliability. Once your investments start actually generating meaningful returns, dividends coming in, your retirement account growing, maybe rental income if you went that route, a lot of people hit a psychological wall right here. They start thinking, that's it, I've made it, I don't need to work hard anymore. Whatever money I need to run my life, I'm already getting from my investments. It feels like the finish line. But settling into that comfortable mindset at this stage can actually be one of the biggest mistakes you can make because it puts you into a comfort zone where you stop growing, stop learning, stop trying new things, and stop pushing yourself. I want to be really clear here. This isn't about grinding yourself into the ground forever. It's about recognizing that true reliability comes from continuing to build, not from stopping the moment things feel comfortable. The people who actually reach lasting generational wealth in America are the ones who, even after reaching this stage, keep asking, how can I grow myself further? How can I add more value to the world? How can I build something bigger? Instead of just sitting back and coasting on what they've already built. So at this stage, your focus should be on continuing to sharpen your skills, exploring new opportunities, and thinking bigger. Not settling into complacency just because the immediate pressure is finally off. Stage 6, financial freedom. After making several different kinds of investments over the years and building multiple income sources, maybe a mix of stocks, a side business, some real estate, and a retirement account all growing simultaneously, you finally arrive at stage 6, true financial freedom. And here's the important nuance most people miss. Financial freedom at this stage isn't just about how much total money you have sitting in accounts. It's about whether you're willing to walk away from old, safe patterns and try something completely new without hesitation, because you finally have the cushion to take that risk. Now, in some cases, a brand new venture you try at this stage might not bring in as much money as you initially expected, and that can feel discouraging. It might feel like you're stepping backward or slowing your own progress down. But here's the perspective shift you need. By the time you've reached this stage, you've already stepped completely outside the lifestyle of the roughly 95% of people in America who work hard, day in and day out, year after year, without ever actually feeling truly happy or in control of their time. You're playing a different game now. So at this stage, your main goal in life shifts. It's no longer just about accumulating more money. It's about building yourself into something bigger, maybe a personal brand, a company, or a body of work that reflects who you are. Ask yourself, what problems can I help solve for other people in a way that also creates value and profit for me? Once you identify that answer clearly, launch it as a product, a service, a piece of content, whatever form it takes. Then keep collecting honest feedback from real people and keep refining it based on what the majority of your audience or customers actually tell you they need. The product or service that comes out of that patient, feedback-driven process is the one that survives in the market for years, not months. Stage 7, financial abundance. And finally, we arrive at stage 7, the top of the mountain. Whatever level of financial freedom you personally dream about, understand that everyone else in the world is dreaming about something similar too. But that specific, almost unlimited level of freedom, the kind where money genuinely stops being a consideration in almost any decision you make, isn't found at any stage except this final one. Because by stage 7, you typically have enough wealth build up that it could realistically support not just you, but multiple generations of your family after you're gone. But here's something important that people don't talk about enough. Along with that unlimited freedom also comes a new set of pressures. At this level, along with your income growing significantly, expenses like taxes, estate planning, and asset management also become much more complicated. Suddenly, you're not just managing a paycheck. You're managing a portfolio, potentially a business empire, and decisions that affect your entire family line. To handle this well, once you've accumulated a significant amount of wealth, a large part of it typically gets directed toward more sophisticated investment vehicles, serious positions in the stock market, diversified portfolios, sometimes private equity or business ownership. And at this level, proper research and real due diligence on every single company or asset you're considering becomes absolutely critical, because the stakes are simply much higher than they were back in stage 3 or 4. Once you've done that research and identified a handful of solid opportunities that you genuinely believe will perform well over the long run, putting your money there can help grow and protect your family's wealth not just for your lifetime, but for generations to come. Bringing it all together. So those are the 7 financial stages that I've researched and broken down for you today, from complete dependence all the way up to true generational abundance. Now here's the one thing I really want you to notice before you go. Everything I just described in this video might sound simple when you hear it laid out stage by stage, but I promise you, actually living through this process is not going to be easy, especially in the early stages, stage 1 through 3, where the grind feels the hardest and the progress feels the slowest. You're going to need to put in real, sustained hard work. There are going to be weeks, maybe even months, where you genuinely don't feel like doing anything at all, where the side hustle feels pointless, where saving feels impossible, where it feels like everyone else is getting ahead faster than you. That feeling is completely normal, and almost everyone who eventually reaches stage 6 or 7 felt exactly that at some point along the way. But here's the honest truth you need to hear. If you give up right there in that moment of frustration, your lifestyle is going to end up looking exactly like everyone else's, stuck in that same 9 to 5 grind, working hard but never really getting ahead, never actually building anything that outlasts the paycheck. So take these 7 stages, figure out honestly which one you're actually in right now. Not where you wish you were, but where you honestly are, and start building your plan from exactly that point forward. Don't skip steps. Don't compare your stage 2 to someone else's stage 6. Just focus on the very next move that gets you one stage higher. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a friend who's stuck, or a family member just starting out in stage 1. And drop a comment down below letting me know honestly which stage you think you're in right now. I read every single one. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay healthy and take care.